I get questions like, "But do you have any advice for founders or new companies starting up?" I say, "Yeah, don't." And it's not my intention to say don't be entrepreneurial. It's that you need to hear rejection. You need to hear me tell you not to do it on the other side of it, and then still have the need to do it. So a lot of people told me I shouldn't keep the 9 to 5, keep the balance. I just didn't want to listen because I love it. I do love it, but you have to be wired for it. And you have to be ready to handle lots of ups and downs. Sometimes the lowest low and the highest high of your business journey could happen on the same day.
Welcome to Season 10 of CX in the Wild. 10 seasons of conversations with the visionaries who are reshaping the world, one experience at a time. This season, we go further into the minds of those who challenge the status quo and reimagine what's possible. And now, the adventure continues.
Welcome back to CX in the Wild, episode number 2 here in Las Vegas. And we're just going to jump right into it. I always start the podcast with asking people to say who they are and what's keeping you busy these days.
Well, my name is Trevor Clark. I'm the founder CEO of ShyftOff. And what keeps me busy is growing our company. It's a full-time plus job. So it's about all I can handle in terms of time. But we got other things too. But that's the main focus right now.
I could talk to you all day long about entrepreneurship. I am so entrepreneurial myself. We just opened an office in Dubai, in South Africa. We are based in the United States. We're growing. Our audience is growing at 50,000 a month now.
Wow.
And it's
amazing.
Just we did it for I was an entrepreneur for 4 years now, but I worked on this little side thing for 10 years before that, and it didn't really go.
Yeah.
We have the ups and downs.
Yes.
And you know what? You cannot be an entrepreneur unless every night when you go to bed, you're like, I'm prepared for it to all be over tomorrow morning. And if I can't wake up tomorrow and start and be okay there, I need to just pass the ball.
I tell people, because I get questions like, "But do you have any advice for founders or new companies starting up?" I say, "Yeah, don't."
Yeah.
And it's not my intention to say don't be entrepreneurial. It's that you need to be ready. You need to hear rejection. You need to hear me tell you not to do it on the other side of it, and then still have the need to do it. And a lot of people told me I shouldn't do that. Keep the 9 to 5. Keep the balance. I just didn't want to listen because I love it. I do love it, but you have to be wired for it, and you have to be ready to handle lots of ups and downs. Sometimes I also say that sometimes the lowest low and the highest high of your business journey could happen on the same day. And how do you explain that? It's crazy.
I need to take a moment here. Yeah. Do you know? You don't know this. Sure. I've been trying to explain that to some people who are very, very close to me, who've known me my whole life. And what I say is just exactly what you said. I said, you have to understand that for me, I can go from 100% ecstasy
Yeah.
to 100% agony
Yeah.
in the same 24-hour period. Because sometimes, I'll be, let's say, in this particular instance, I had the opportunity to be having this conversation at one of the most exclusive places in the world in Dubai. And the person who was with me was like, wow. And I was like, don't wow it. Because by tomorrow, it could be equally this bad.
Yeah.
Just ride it out. Try to stuff it down because you just don't know. And you know what? The very next day was the worst day of my life.
Oh.
So it was true. But then I was like, but I'm also cool with that.
You have to not let the highs take you too high or the lows take you too low. You got to find emotionally this balance. It's like stoicism.
Yeah.
And I discovered that Stoic philosophy during this because I'm
Same.
reading about this and it's oh yeah, the 2,000 years ago this was happening to Marcus Aurelius. You just have to stay level-headed, and that's hard. That's when I think you start. That's when I feel like I'm getting better at this, and when I'm starting to not let those highs or lows take me.
Trevor,
So.
at this point, I don't care what your current situation in your business is. I want to help you as much as I can. Because there's a truth in what you're saying. I also found stoicism during my journey. And every day I wake up and I try to keep it level.
Yep.
And I just got back from Brazil, so like that's my security team. When we go places, security teams, camera teams, we're going, and from the outside it looks so glamorous.
Yeah.
But inside, you're like a caged circus animal. Like everybody looks at you, but you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And you go through these realizations that you find. You find all these truths that are really. It's amazing how much around us is not quite accurate. And as an entrepreneur, to survive, you have to start to distinguish what the truth is from the hype.
Yeah.
And so when I listen to you, I'm like, this guy's got some truth. Let's get into the truth about your business. Break it down. What's the current value proposition to the universe?
Yeah, so the way we've been describing it lately is the Uber Black for call centers, which really means it's a gig economy platform so that call center operators, whether you're a brand or actually a BPO, we work with both, can leverage a flexible, on-demand, high-performing workforce using our platform. And so the benefits of it are perfect staffing in every 30-minute interval. Like we can be so precise with staffing that it totally optimizes workforce management in a very natural and win-win way. I'm a very big believer that the best and brightest contact center professionals are in the gig economy. They have choice. They can work for Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or their full-time company, but they're the best and they have these choices now, and we have to go meet them where they are. So when you start leveraging this workforce, you're going to see performance increase. That's the other value prop we bring. And then last is because we're leveraging technology, and we're kind of doing away with I call it the 40-year-old contact center model, which has been around forever, which we're all operating a traditional model that way. We're coming in with more of a modern approach that leverages technology. You don't need all the overhead. And so we are able to make the cost savings about 35% compared to a traditional model. And we pass that to our customers, whether you're BPO and you can add this extreme flexibility and higher performance to your existing offering, or directly with brands to build that capability in-house. So that's the value prop. We've been in business since 2020. And I've just continue to grow immensely. It's been really fun. But like you said, there's a lot of highs and lows. But thankfully, the highs have been better, more often than the lows, which is great. So
that you only need them to be slightly higher over the line to stay from crashing.
Yeah.
So I think I do remember talking to you earlier in your journey.
Yeah.
And weren't you at some point focused on one market segment, one type of agent, but you've now expanded to a wider range of agents? Is that, or am I thinking of someone else?
We've always been pretty focused, mainly in the U.S., like from a geography perspective, very focused. Just as you know, when you're building something, like you can easily lose focus. So I try to, all right, we're just going to start in the U.S. We were really targeting, and still do, verticals that require a U.S. presence and tend to need more complex or regulatory needs. There's something there that I think our model works really, really well for.
Do you do industry specific, like insurance, financial?
We do insurance. Like I'd say we're industry agnostic, but there are certain industries that make a lot of sense for us, like insurance. One thing we're really good at is just rapid response. So when hurricanes come for the state of Florida, which I live in Tampa, usually those things are headed right for my house, and I've got to like pack it up and evacuate while we flip the switch on. But we're really good at bringing in hundreds or thousands of agents in a short amount of time. That's one value prop we bring. The others are, if you're really sophisticated in your contact center and you care a lot about the customer experience of, hey, when calls are queuing, customers aren't super happy with me, and you get really good at workforce optimization, you can leverage us to get more staff in those 30-minute intervals that you care about, or it could be hours or 2-hour blocks, whatever is really important to you. And you don't actually have to hire more people. So the CFO stays happy, and the customers get way happier because they're not dealing with hold times. So that's when I feel like customers get really sophisticated using our model. You can have a different required FTE number for every 30-minute interval. It's pretty powerful. So that's, I guess, an expansion, or we're just getting really clear on what we're good at.
So that we treat you so much.
Sounds a little too hard to believe, Trevor.
That's fair.
How many agents are don't answer anything that you can't, but you can just say can't answer that. But how many agents are in this pool of drivers on the road at the moment?
Yeah, right now, the last time I looked at the number a couple months ago, I don't remember now, it was like 17,000-ish. We're constantly bringing new agents in because we continue to grow. And those agents vary in productivity.
So I get you. So 17,000 US based agents.
Yep.
All right. First of all, wow. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Dude.
I'll share some of my entrepreneurial journey with you because we have some, I think we are thinking as modern economists.
Yeah.
And I'm currently working on a system that's rolling out in a country where I have BPO skills and training modules in an ecosystem, and I have the BPOs in this country on the other side, and as the students in the economy go through the skills training, the BPOs can see the cohorts and spot a lot of psychographic or learning paths, spot cohorts, and they can send job offers directly to them. And what that does is it removes the job postings and the job hunting. And what it does is matches the skills to the demand in the marketplace.
Yep.
And it solves a number of socioeconomic challenges. It scales, it's enabled by technology at scale. And for our system, we are also backed by global standard certifications in our piece, which, because we are one of the tributaries of the world for the river of global certifications. That's something you and I should talk about offline.
Absolutely,
I can share with you how that might manifest.
That'd be great.
But I think the reason I share that story with you is you can see my mind is also trying to actively work with this supply and demand equilibrium.
Yes. So are you asking kind of how we manage it on our side?
No, I'm just sharing that I relate to you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to divulge any of your secrets, but I think what I'm reaching for there is the opportunity is there.
Oh, right.
And when you go back to this thing you were saying about you get up and you keep doing it, you have to know that you're going in the right direction. And it's like going through the wilderness and you see a cliff and a ravine, and a lot of people look and they're like, I don't think that's the right way. And you're like, that's the only way, and it's not going to be great. But when we get over it, you have to know that direction, and you seem to sense that. How do you, what are the next steps for you to grow? Like the next baby steps, here for us, our audience now is 500,000 CXers worldwide. We have a number of media channels and distribution points, groups, alliances, coalitions around the world, governments, CEOs, down to the front lines. There's got to be a way I, as an entrepreneur, can give you some of my entrepreneurial momentum, because that's really part of the magic of how we all get there.
100%. That's actually one of the best parts about being an entrepreneur. We all are helping each other, which is pretty cool. So for me, as we go forward, we've had an amazing 5 years. They keep getting better, each one, which is very grateful for. And last year we blew wide open our growth plans. Like we went way beyond that. And so now I'm in a great position to continue investing in sales marketing. I don't know if I think Tiana might have shared the press release, but we just brought in a chief growth officer.
Oh.
And my position, I'm a operator, and I kind of built this thing, but I don't know I don't know how to sell that well. I can sit here and talk to you or anybody and talk you through a solution, very solution oriented person. But we're not doing a great job of getting out there. I'm sure we're like somewhat of a secret, and which I'm okay with because I really believe in building a great product first. I don't want to go sell something we can't do a good job at. And I think we're finally in this position where you're probably gonna hear more from us, especially as we bring in our growth officer, and we're in a good position to kind of get out there a little bit, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, and what were your criteria for a growth officer? Because so many I find around the ecosystem, they a lot of them are traditionally trained,
Mhm.
and they work in for models that don't apply anymore.
Yeah.
Like, where did you find the right person?
Um, so we have a couple investors on our cap table, and they, you know, I really enjoy the investors that we brought on. We've been selective. We haven't brought on a lot of money or anything, and that's also something I'm big on is not uh, going down that VC vortex, I like to call it. But we have great partners, and I said, hey, look, I need somebody to help kind of challenge me and help me grow, learn to be a better, help our company learn how to go to market even better. And I got a few intros, and Matt Williamson is our chief growth officer, and I got introduced to him, and uh, he's just you could just tell he's an executive. He's also an entrepreneur too. So we are cut very much from the same cloth. And when we talk to each other about the problems in the business or the things we want to improve on, there's a problem solver there that's looking to solve, however it's whatever the path is required to solve that problem. He's going to find that. He's not going to look at it from, like you're saying, like I've traditionally,
Yeah,
like
thank
that's
God.
still too rigid for me. And I got a chance to work with Matt for a few months. He was actually doing a consulting company, and I was like, here, just come in and help me like figure this out, and where we need to put in investments, things like that. And it just quickly morphed into more. And I was like, Matt, I really love working with you. We're really happy with this. I want you full time. Is that even possibly an option? He's like, man, I would love that. This is freaking great.
Oh,
So,
yeah. If he
yeah,
has the love for it
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Where are you guys? So is your growth to get more opportunities to serve the, let's call it, on demand market, or is your goal to get a wider range of capabilities?
We're gonna do both at the same time. So I'll with Matt joining the company, I'll have a chance now to build a little bit more product, so the capabilities will enhance, and I get to drive that, I like that a lot. Matt's going to be looking at expanding the business into help more people, help more companies solve these problems. The 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 other thing is we're trying to skate to the puck where it's going. AI is obviously a big conversation. I'm a very big believer that we should expect AI to be ultra impactful in probably a good way to the contact center space. But I think the outcome of that is going to be highly volatile calls and highly complex calls. And guess what? ShyftOff is a perfect solution for volatility and complexity. And traditional 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, traditional centers are going to struggle because these are already problems that they're dealing with that they just get harder to solve. And so we're looking at this saying, okay, as companies start to figure out AI, they're going to start to have less predictable call volume. They're still going to need people there, but they also aren't going to staff them all the time. They need to find a way to be ready for a lot of unknowns as these technologies take off. And so that's another angle that I did a webinar on this recently. I think we put out a report. It's called a predictions report. I'm really excited about that vision because if I'm in the shoes of an operator in a contact center, whether a BPO or a brand, and I've been in those shoes, I would want to be thinking a few chess moves ahead. Yes, I'm going to implement AI. Yes, it's going to be super successful because I'm a good leader. But what happens after that? And then your human side is going to be pretty disrupted. I want people to be thinking about that. I want to get that message out too.
Yeah, those are big ideas.
Yeah.
I operate a call center because I'm a student of all these things. I have a call center and just 10 agents, and I see on the front lines how AI is getting implemented in call centers, and in the ecosystem, and it's so
I mean, that's
misaligned.
I agree with
And
that.
it's baffling to me how many people are talking about it and how many don't have any idea what's happening. I talk to I've talked to more AI CEOs, startups, founders in the world of CX who have never sat in a call center
Yes.
once and seen
Oh,
what
my
agents
goodness.
do,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that. How do you even come to that? You know, it's amazing. So
I agree.
I think you're right that AI is going to be a big impact. I think what's people keep trying to get to the agent through all of the existing ecosystem. And what I did in mine is I came from this and I went and gave AI to each individual agent
Nice.
first. So I empowered the agent,
Makes total
and
sense.
the agent can deal with all the like 65 different dashboards, blah, blah, blah. But I gave them the power themselves to, like, here's an example I don't think anybody talks about. Now, depending upon your compliances and your
Yeah.
regulations, but an agent who you teach to use AI and then teach them just to open up their dashboard and screen shoot it and throw it into AI and say, what is all this and what's important? That agent will come up to speed 1,000 times
Oh,
faster
100%, yeah.
than the next person. So that's kind of like how I'm getting.
Oh, I
at it.
totally agree with that. And in my view, and the same as yours, like we were doing I did a talk in Orlando in January, I think, and I noted that 9 out of 10 companies that are exhibiting or talking or whatever, heck, even my session had AI written in it. We're not even an AI company, and so it's obviously this very hypey thing. And I said, okay, well, who in this room is successfully running an AI, anything successful about it? Barely a hand went up, and so it's interesting. I think the practical applications are we're going to figure that out at some point. Probably it's not there yet, but I'm taking the position that I was pretty amazed when I first used ChatGPT. I underestimated AI until I got my hands on that. So I'm just going to assume going forward, this thing's going to be way more powerful than I think.
Yeah.
So let's just plan for that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Just follow the water to the next city. It works.
Yeah. When that happens, I don't know. But let's just, we should know that there's something happening next.
Well, I think you've got a lot of interesting. I like that you're sort of you're solving a problem in the market that has long existed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when I look at a lot of brands, their biggest challenge for flexibility, and maybe I'm just passing this to you as an entrepreneurial insight, as the cost to serve increases in a company, what people often misunderstand is that it's their outbound marketing and product teams that are causing all of that. So by being more thoughtful about your education to the customer, you decrease call volume and you can reduce the cost to serve and you can invest more, right?
100%, yeah.
What I like about your thing is, without you, what they call it to get to a better place there is transformation. But what you do is you almost put you put something into the ecosystem so it doesn't have to transform. You actually create like a gasket that helps. Maybe it's not even like a gasket. It's like a elasticity.
Yep.
That what that does is it reduce. You know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I think about things. You actually, one of your key value propositions is the reduction in cost to transform.
Yeah, and buys you time. If you're having customer issues and your contact center is not keeping up for whatever reason, if it's product related, something upstream, of course it is most likely, right? Well, you don't want to let the customers suffer in the meantime while you figure out how to fix the core problem. So in that way, it's like an immediate relief valve to any organization trying to get that. If you're feeling pressure from the organization to keep costs down, but you need more, you need more people to help take the burden of these calls or emails, chats, whatever. This is a great way to keep the CFO happy and still keep the customers happy as well. So I think it's a relief valve there, and then buy yourself time to go fix the real problem and actually stop worrying about being reactive. Let us handle getting your staffing right. Let's make sure we hit those targets for you. Let's take that off your plate. Go work on the customer. That's way more important.
I hear you. I believe you, and I think you're right. You're the CEO, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But because I work with government leaders, CEOs, and call center challenges around the world, think about what I'm saying just as an entrepreneur. Yes, I want to serve customers better, and I want to serve more of them. So you're talking about the valve.
Yeah.
More customers, less customers. You're also talking about a sense of control.
Yeah.
Okay? Resiliency, all of these things. Yes. So I get it from your business model that way.
Yeah.
But when I put on my customer-centric hat, if I'm the CEO or I'm Wall Street, I have less concerns about the volume of my calls. I have to make, as a CEO, a decision about the change, the rapid, the speed at which I respond. So you do that.
Yeah.
But the speed at which I evolve or transform, that is right now a logical process. You have to, if then that, right?
Yeah.
What you've introduced is a variable that your piece now allows, let's say, the breathing room you were talking about. If I bring you in for 3 months on an account and I just leave my problem the way it is, I can isolate my problems within your ecosystem and say, oh, it only goes up when we send out an ad. It only goes out when product teams launch something. So what you do is you create clarity and you create a bridge of business intelligence before transformation or in cycles and sprints during transformation. That is an entirely different asset to the ecosystem of call centers.
I'll give you a great example of that. Yeah, like you're right on. Like one of our customers, it was like 3 weeks ago. They came to me and they're like, Trevor, our intraday arrival pattern just completely shifted on us. It was busy in the mornings and we knew that. It was like you could set your watch to it, and then all of a sudden one day something changed and now it's totally different. It's afternoon. Well, so to your point about you're making changes to the business. Well, they're making changes that's going to start changing the dynamics of how customers interact with them. Well, you need to be able to change the way your supply of agents is there for them, right? So it was a 2-hour situation where it encapsulated the phone call I got, and then the email to my team said, "Oh yeah, just switch the allocation in our platform," and then they all had staff there in the afternoons where it wasn't planned to be. We were able to make that switch immediately. So the customer's in there making their product better, but it's going to actually potentially wreak havoc in some ways, good or bad, on your contact center. You kind of need levers to pull there. And with a full-time W-2 only staff, sitting duck is what I think of, so it's nice to have those levers, the relief valve, however you want to call it. I think it's a power, it's a lever, a huge one.
But using your service for for a quarter or 6 months would give you like an EKG that would tell you
100%.
if you were headed to a heart attack or if you were getting better or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's brilliant. Trevor, I could talk to you for hours, but I do need to, we're talking to a lot of people, but Trevor, I love talking to you, hearing about your business. I think I remember talking to you or someone in your organization earlier on, but this is a platform that's about sharing your journey, your wisdom, your needs, your asks, your voice with the universe. So if there's something you'd like to say to the world of CX, this is an opportunity for you to speak directly to them. Is there anything you'd like to say? And keep in mind, when we publish these, we put all your contacts. You don't have to tell anybody where to find you, because we'll give you the assets too. But is there something you want to say to the world of CX?
Sure. I think weaved it in a little bit here and there, but I'm pretty excited and passionate about that. Our space is changing so rapidly right now. It's fun. Like we're headed for like a pretty exciting future. Technology is changing. The workforce is clearly changing. The businesses are always going to be evolving. I'm excited to be hopefully part of the future of that. And I know your listeners are also part of the future of that, because if you're listening to this, you're thinking forward. So for me, what I would love is to know more of your listeners and hear feedback on our views and just conversation. Here we are, I think, in this industry, one thing I love about it is everyone's helping each other, much like entrepreneurs. And I'd love to have more of those conversations.
Do you want more of those conversations? Do you need more agents?
No, we're good on agents.
You're good on agents, but
actually, no. I'll take it back. I always
one hand washes the other. It's a cycle, but so
we always want great agents to be a part of the platform, and so no one should hesitate to join ShyftOff, because it's a great place for contact center agents to kind of take control of their hours, their pay, the work they're doing. To me, it's the best contact center model to work for in the world. I'm not biased at all. So yes, that door is always open for sure.
And if there's somebody who's thinking about evolving or introducing change to their call center or their staffing or their solutions, and they're looking for strong US-based agents, ShyftOff is like a great place.
It is, and I will say I haven't fully announced it, but we are also near shore now in Central America. So that is something that again, US.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. You actually did. So yeah, I'm a pretty passive salesperson, so I want to help people solve problems. If anything I said today sounds like I could help you solve a problem, doesn't hurt to call, and we'll help you figure it out.
Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you for being part of this journey with us. We hope these conversations challenge your thinking and inspire you to explore new paths. There's so much more to discover. Keep listening, dive into more episodes, and let's continue this adventure together.